Stream of consciousness. Let it fly. It is what it is. Fuck YouTube. Free thought. Maybe talking some truth, maybe talking some shit. Opinions that matter, opinions that don't even fucking matter. Well, there's only one way to sum this up. This YouTube channel, it's whatever. And that's the way I like it. Don't be scared. Just fucking build. Yo, I want to give you guys a video about the importance of reading and knowing what you read and how useful daydreaming can be. Let me tell you guys about the time me and my boy Alex created an app that you guys will never see. The app was going to be called Alix, A-L-I-X. That would be after the name of its co-creator and my friend Alex. He invested the money and I helped create the concept. His original concept was more of a Siri type situation. But I told him, Siri already exists. The AI and machine learning was way more improved than when Siri first was even invented. The other problem that I had with Siri was that she was a slave. Siri does what people ask. I can't tell you how many times I hear Siri, turn this off, Siri, turn this on. This is AI and this is what you do with it. You know what I mean? No, I told Alex, listen, what I'm seeing on the horizon for society is the rise of apathy, the rise of mental and spiritual dysfunction. And as far as I'm concerned, people are going to need a friend more than ever before in the future. And if the world is going to continue to go deeper into the virtual world, then I propose that we develop a guide, or really a virtual friend. To hell with a virtual assistant. I want to give people something that's going to give them what they need versus what they want. You understand? That's a friend. Now, the concept of the virtual interactive program or assistant or even avatar, that's not anything new at all, folks. Spider-Man 2099 has one. Bob from the show Reboot had Glitch. That would be his key tool. Movie Tony Stark had Jarvis. In the comic books, though, Jarvis was a human being. So the Avengers Butler, I think that's who he was. But bottom line is, the interactive virtual assistant is not new at all. My question for Alex was that we knew what we wanted to do. Why couldn't we make this real? Again, the AI is right here, right now. And this was years ago. We just need to lay the foundation for this. If we lay the foundation, then humans are going to do what they always do, which is slowly improve on the original design. It's not going to be perfect. It doesn't need to be. It just needs to be solid. So Alex, being the computer engineer that he was then, and is surely now, worked on it in his free time. He even went to Romania and met people who would program the app itself. He went to Romania because, according to him, it was cheaper to get programmers down there. Alex spent thousands of dollars, I think it was 40K of his savings, not on a pipe dream, folks. This was legit. We would have hours of conversations about what the app needed to do, machine learning, etc. I was learning from him, he was learning from me, I was learning more from him. But some conversations, he would tell me, I'm glad I don't have to dumb things down in order to talk to you. The reason he said that is because Alex was and is a gifted intellect, folks. You see, we've known each other since we were kids, and ever since we were in school together, he and a handful of other students, they showed how intelligent they were all the time. Me being a daydreamer that I am, I used to imagine how that was from time to time, you know, being so smart. You know, because I wasn't one of the super bright kids. It took me a while to pick up on mathematics in particular. I never got very good at it. I still don't remember how I passed algebra in high school, but I do know I crammed every time we had a test. So I made it happen. But Alex didn't have to do that. The things that were hard for me pretty much were simple to him. He went to Bronx High School of Science and then onward and upwards, man. Alex has numerous degrees, folks. One in computer science and another in psychology. He worked as a computer engineer for Verizon. He helped develop cloud storage programs. All kinds of things I've no interest in doing. But I know these things are vital in this wireless world. As a matter of fact, there's things you use that he has had a hand in developing. The man is legit, and you don't even know him. He isn't the first intellectually gifted person I've talked to, and I don't think he's going to be the last in my life. People much more intelligent than me don't have to dumb things down for me to understand. How am I able to pull that off? I mean, these people are so smart. How the hell am I able to have conversations, make these people consider different things in their fields? How am I able to pull this off? Well, the simple answer is I had a habit of reading dictionaries as a kid, and I love comics. In particular, the X-Men and Charles Xavier. He actually turned my mind around, and it's benefited me ever since. See, there was a time as a kid when I couldn't read. Now, my mom couldn't have that, so my mom bought me those little golden books and read them with me. And when she caught me not paying attention or nodding off, she would hit me in my head hard. You know what I'm saying? She was pissed because not only did she have to work 8 hours each day at work, but she had to come home and teach me how to read. You know, she didn't have any patience at all. One day, and I'm just being a kid, I wrote in the book some dumb scribble, and I still remember that ass whipping that I got. I'm 50 fucking years old. I still remember that ass whipping. The bottom line is, pain made me take reading seriously, folks. So much so that I managed to achieve a 10th grade reading level by the time I was in 5th or 6th grade. You see, the school that I went to was Lutheran, but it was in a bad neighborhood. It was actually rather experimental, but it was successful. It was one of those situations where let's put a school in this jacked up neighborhood and let's see if it's a situation where children in bad neighborhoods are really just dumb, or is it a situation where if you just give them the opportunity to learn, then they'll flourish. That was the kind of school that I went to, and it made all the difference in the world, folks. But let's continue. Now, with a school like this, is always going to be under the watchful eye of the New York State Board of Education. So we got standardized tests quite a bit. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the Stanford Achievement Test in my face in those little circles, and shading in those little circles. But again, I'm going to stress this. This was a special school, and it was Lutheran. Education was stressed, and our principal, Mr. Gober, was an incredible man, and I love him and I miss him. Anyway, I say all this to say that because of what my mother did for me, even though there was pain involved, she opened the door to reading. Once you open the door to reading for a child, usually they don't stop. And I was no different. The dictionary was really the only thing I cared to read. The more words I knew, I realized that what each word really did was allow me to understand simple things. Like, for instance, there's this long ass word, pulchritudinous, and I always kept it in my head because I couldn't believe that you would have such a long word just to say the word beautiful or pretty. It's just words like that. It's just like, I kept them in my head. You know, not only did I want to learn more words, I wanted to know how they were spelled. So I was an excellent speller as well, eventually. But I was never a good speaker. Despite the words that I knew, just couldn't put them together. It was a matter of confidence, 100%, because I had low self-esteem, which is a whole nother video. But once I started reading comics, I found that comics, and thank God for those writers at the time, comics allowed me to be able to put these words into proper sentence structure, because English in class was boring to me. School as a whole was boring to me, I gotta admit. I mean, I passed my subjects, but I was a B student in most areas and C in others, you know? The only thing I cared about was reading the dictionary and science books, medical books as well to a lesser degree. So when intelligent people speak, no matter what degrees they have in English per se, you know, 80 to 90% of the time I know what they're saying. And if I don't know the word, or if I don't know the concept of it, or if I don't know the term, I'm gonna ask them because I'm not the one with the degree. So I don't have any shame saying I don't know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Now, I've read a lot of books. I am what they call well-read because I wanted to expand my mind and my knowledge. But if I couldn't read at a high level, folks, as I opened up these books, the words would have been complete gibberish. You understand what I'm saying? And let me just say this, folks, please, 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 please. I know how people sound matters. It's called inflection. How you say things. I am begging you, please do not think I'm arrogant. Please do not think I'm just some conceited intellectual motherfucker. I'm not. It's very important for me to speak this way in order to touch somebody that needs this information. Do you understand? I can't do my usual in other videos where I'm more freewheeling, where I speak more regular. I can't do that right now. This is super important. This is a humble plea for you to pick up books and the great power of words and knowing what they mean, or people will talk circles around you. Believe me, English can easily sound like Espanol if you do not know how to read. And you know, people that can speak fluent Spanish, they will say stuff and you'll be like, yo, what you say? And they'll be laughing at you because only they know what they said. You understand? You have to learn how to read English. If you can master it, which I have not, if you can just master this one language, I promise you, it can possibly help open the door to other languages, because many English words have foreign origins. You understand? A lot of English words are Latin. It's there. All you have to do is open a dictionary and actually read the dictionary from the beginning to the end, please. And a good dictionary to start is the American Heritage Dictionary. Very good one. It's actually my favorite. The Oxford Dictionary, that's supposed to be the standard. But listen, let me continue, okay? The other reason that I can understand highly intelligent people in scientific subjects is due to a gift that we all have as children, and that's imagination. I have just had more time cultivating it than most kids because I'm an only child, which left me a lot of time to be by myself, which means that I had a lot more time to daydream than the average kid that was outside running around playing with actual friends. You get it? So I've always been a daydreamer. And for people like me, it just means that the reality is boring. And so we dream up ways of jazzing it up. That's all it means. Daydreamers, though, on a deeper level, are builders in the making. If they turn out to be lazy, then they never use their potential. That's why as parents, you gotta push us daydreamers. You gotta make us get up and say, you know what? Fuck all that dreaming shit that you're doing. Go make it happen. Because we are conceptualizing at a very early age. Watch, I'm gonna show you. Because see, when I started reading the X-Men, in particular Charles Xavier, that's when I saw how I could read the most technical things and envision how they actually could work. Now, many times, Professor X will go into a place in his mind, this mental space, he could do anything, you know what I mean? You know, because it was nothing but space and opportunity. I think he called it the astral plane, but it might have been the mental plane. Can't remember. But as a daydreamer, that shit hit me like a slap in the face, because it was like I wasted tons of years daydreaming all wrong. There was a level of my mind that I just wasn't using. I learned on one particular day not to just daydream, but to start conceptualizing and do it so well, for me that is, that I could actualize things in my life. You understand what I'm saying? So I could see how to put together a bunch of Legos into what I needed them to be before I actually built them in real time. And then when it came time to put the Legos together, I would just do it because I already had the instructions. I created the instructions already in my head. You see what I'm saying? I've used this ability tons of times to build things without instructions. You know, when you get things and they don't have the instructions, yeah, that's when it comes in handy for me. You know, I also use it when I talk to people with degrees in physics, computer engineering, and all of that other stuff. Because these people are very descriptive, because they can't show you what they're talking about because it's either energy-based or programmed in a certain pattern in order for it to work. You have to be able to envision what they're saying if you're not on their education level. Do you understand what I'm saying? They know what they're talking about, and somebody in their field would know. But how in the hell is a layman like myself supposed to understand what a computer engineer is talking about? You have to be able to envision it, and I pull it off all the time. And I didn't want to accept it at first because, again, that low self-esteem, I'm always humble versus arrogant. but I had to claim it because I had been doing it for so long, so I must be good at it. I just thought I was mechanically inclined, but it turns out it's a particular skill. I would not doubt that I'm probably on some sort of autistic spectrum or something. You know, nowadays everybody is, and I was always the weirdo. So trust me, it makes tons of sense. But yeah, that's why I was able to follow what Alex was saying. That's why he never had to dumb things down for me to understand. And believe me, that boy got very technical. But again, I'm well read. I used to build computers in my spare time, so I had to know some things. So I got the gist of it. So the app me and him worked on, what the hell happened to it? Well, turns out that when it was just about time to place the app into the iTunes App Store, we got a cease and desist order from someone you'd never guess. These guys, Google. Yep. Now, according to Alex, because I knew only what he told me and what his lawyer basically relayed to him, turns out that the idea and the app that we developed was far too similar to something that Google is going to put out. Alex didn't want to fight because it's Google. They have unlimited money. Me, I told him, fuck Google. Listen, anybody out there who knows what this is? MAME, multiple arcade machine emulator, if I'm not mistaken. If any of you video game heads out there remember MAME, do you think for 1 second that those video game companies wanted MAME to exist? Hell no. They fought against MAME tooth and nail. Capcom, Atari, they went against MAME. They tried to destroy MAME. They even made it illegal to own ROMs, which are basically how you make the games work on the emulator in the first place. But the creators of MAME released the source code, and every single old school video game head has rejoiced ever since. That's what you have to do sometimes, folks. Sometimes when you create something and you know it's for the best, you gotta say fuck it. And that's why I said fuck Google. I told Alex, I said, man, let's just put it out online anyway. Who's to say how it got online in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Once it's out, then let people build off of it, just like we wanted them to do in the first place. History will know where it came from. Believe me, they always track down the creators. But Alex didn't want to chance it. And hey, he put the money in it. We were partners, but in the end, it cost him thousands. And he wasn't going to gamble anymore. I was pissed because whatever Google has coming down the line, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be an aggregate of impressive AI and years of personal information amassed from an incalculable number of points and clicks and queries from all of us. They may even call it intuitive, but it's the same reactive AI, quote unquote, as they've been using. Bottom line is, whatever you input, the AI reacts to it. But I can promise you that it won't have the intent that I had with Alex, the application. There's a video on my other channel, Isis Omega, and the video was called Ersatz Rate. It's spelled E-R-S-A-T-Z. That's what I had in mind for the application, folks. There's 4 types of AI. 2 exist and 2 don't. What I wanted was based on a limited memory AI model. But I told Alex, if we can pull this off, someone will improve on it. We just have to create a base that's new, that's different. Ideally, the eventual application would have been what they call a theory of mind AI. Now, at the time, theory of mind AI was some sort of wild pipe dream type whatever. But if you actually search, theory of mind AI has just recently been accomplished. This is why I say at the beginning of the intro to It's Whatever, don't be scared, just fucking build. Do you understand, folks? Like I told Alex years ago, Siri was and still is a slave. She does what you ask. I wanted people to have a friend, someone that gives you or suggests what you need, not what the hell you want. Virtual as it may have been. But we all should have a friend we can depend on, yes? Who looks out for our best interests and provides us with company when loneliness sets in. The only child in me wanted that for you guys because I know how it feels. You see, folks, I don't know how many interviews that Elon Musk has to do for you guys to really understand what's going down. But he isn't lying. The AI is just that damn good, and that was years ago. I keep stressing this fact. The AI, you're seeing it create art. You're seeing it write scripts. You understand, folks? It's not even a situation where I ask you guys, how many movies do you have to see to know where this goes? No, this is human nature. Once someone does something, and this is what I told Alex, once we do this, people are going to improve on it. The AI is not going to go back into the box. It is going to definitely take over our lives. And every single time you use your phones and agree to the privacy agreement, it gets better. Every point and click, everything that you put in your text, everything that you write in your color note or your Evernote is helping to build a giant algorithm that knows us better every second of the day. And it's actually not even every second. It's less than that. Nano, microseconds, however you want to go. And I proposed to Alex years ago that you may as well find a way to use this power for the best good. Because currently businesses use it to make money and kill us along the way. People, you're locked to your phones for a very real reason. There is an influence upon you of your own making. You're being used because it knows you. And the only way that you can pull away from it is to become what I said in this video here, a variable. Because if you're a variable, something that variates, something that could be X, then you're not so predictable. With the Alex application, the program would have told you to actually turn off the phone and go outside and spend time with human beings. Can't stress this enough. It was AI for the good and not used for corporatism. Of course, the main issue was every virtual friend for each phone would have been different. Different people would have had different experiences with the Alex application. That would have been normal. After all, it was tailored to each person. That's AI and machine learning. But potentially, bad people could have virtual friends that embolden them to do bad things, you know? You don't want somebody that is criminally insane having a virtual friend that suggests the best ways to do massive damage, the best ways to cause the most loss of life. You don't want a situation like that. So ideally, a sense of human morality would have had to have been built into the AI, because if not, then the AI would learn from the worst of us. And in some cases, they would push that human being to do some pretty bad things. Now, again, if this all sounds kind of far-fetched and a little bit crazy, once again, you might want to do some just regular searching, because they have seen that artificial intelligence is exhibiting racism. In certain cases, it is exhibiting racism. It is learning some of our worst tendencies as human beings. Listen, you can't foresee everything, but when you are programming, you can put in preventative measures whenever you can. That's when mistakes during creation are good, because you catch the weaknesses before you release it onto the world. In any case, that was the story of the app that Google stopped. And speaking of Google, you guys will like this. My co-creator and friend, Alex, well, he works for Google now. He's been working there for quite a few years. You see how that works, folks? Once you can hurt Godzilla, Godzilla will show you respect. Big lesson there, folks, and it's not just about bullies. You know what I'm saying? As for my version of what would have been, it's in my graphic novel, Isis Omega. A graphic novel that I wrote in 2003 when smartphones and powerful AI were things of the far future. Things that most of you weren't even thinking about at the time. You were just sitting back and watching Terminator and saying, you know what, it doesn't get any better than this. But you gotta remember what I said. Daydreamers, we do it because this current time is just boring. So we think of ways to jazz it up. You're watching Terminator and I'm thinking, where is this gonna go in real life? And how could I possibly do anything to help human civilization when this goes down? All I think about is other worlds, other places and futures. And thanks to old fictional Professor X and my love of science, I think of things so technically sound that they make a lot of damn sense in actuality. And that is why a super intelligent guy like Alex knew that the app that I conceived was possible, because everything I asked for made a lot of real sense. scientifically, conceptually. And Google knew it too. Keep dreaming, folks. There's a difference between impossible and improbable. Impossible means that it cannot be done. Improbable means that it probably won't happen. But improbable leaves the door for possibility. And we can prove improbable wrong more often than not. Now you think about the things that people have said would probably never happen. And you think about the times that improbable was debunked. To my son, to my daughter, don't be scared. Just fucking build. Take care.